Guys, welcome back to the channel, where we review stories that beautiful people like yourselves post on the internet. We got 3 stories for you today. Story 1. Am I the a-hole for snapping at my stepmom when she wouldn't stop asking to be in the delivery room with me? I've, 29 female, always had a good relationship with my stepmom, 54 female, who I'll call Sophia. When I was 7 and my brother was 5, we lost our mom pretty traumatically. My dad met Sophia a few years and lots of family therapy after that. I was 10 or 11 when he introduced her as a friend, and it took 2.5 years before they got married. Sophia has always been great. She never tried to replace our mom. She left all of our family photos up, and was never offended we didn't ask her to come to the cemetery, but came when we did ask. She did my hair for high school dances, watched romcoms with us after breakups, taught my brother to drive, and cried happy tears at both of our weddings. She treats my husband like her own son. She's truly a great person, which is probably why I feel like such an a-hole in this situation. I'm 6.5 months along with my and DH's first child. Between the hormones and this new chapter of my life, I have been missing my mom extra fiercely these past months, wishing that she was here with me to meet her grandbaby. I've been visiting her grave a lot just to sit and talk, basically cry about how much I wish she was still here. I know it's been 21 years, but her absence is like a physical ache some days. It started a few weeks ago when my dad warned me Sophia had been remarking about being in the delivery with me. The next time I saw her, she asked and I gently told her that only DH would be in the delivery room with me. Since the first no, she's taken it as an invitation to change my mind. Every time she brings it up, I shut her down gently with an, "I appreciate the offer, but I still only want DH in the room. We'll let family know when we're ready for visitors." Then, last weekend, a couple of my cousins threw a casual code backyard baby shower that included both my and DH families. I overheard Sophia chatting with another one of my cousins who's pregnant, and Sophia was trying to get her to convince me to have Sophia in the room. My cousin was ignoring her mostly, but then I heard Sophia said, "A girl needs her mom with her for that." I was probably hormonal and tired, but I was so upset. I finally interrupted and just said, "Yes, a girl does need her mother. Too bad mine died in front of me, and my bonus mom can't seem to take no for an answer." I didn't say it loudly enough for anyone but us to hear, but I was rather harsh, and then I went to hide inside saying I needed to lie down. My dad said he understands my side and supports me no matter what, but that I really hurt Sophia's feelings by what I said, and I should at least apologize for that. I do want to apologize, but also believe I deserve an apology for not being listened to. It was also the first time I ever really felt like Sophia was trying to replace my mom, and I just snapped a little. I don't know, I feel horrible. So maybe I already know the answer, but am I the a-hole? Sophia's feelings wouldn't be hurt if she had simply listened to you and accepted that only you and your husband will be in the delivery room. Instead, she keeps asking and is now trying to get others to intervene on her behalf. It sounds as if you do love her, and she has been very good to you over the years, but that does not exclude or support her insistence to be in the delivery room. You need to have a private chat, first with your father, and then with your stepmother. Tell your dad that you love and appreciate all Sophia has done, but her persistence in asking is causing you and the baby stress. Tell him that asking your cousin to intervene was out of line, and it needs to stop now. Then have the same conversation with Sophia, and tell them both, in no uncertain terms, that giving birth is not a spectator sport, and you're tired of being asked when the question has been answered. You may want to go as far as telling them that each time the question is asked, you will delay their meeting the baby by an unspecified or specified period of time. Not the a-hole. Not the a-hole because you're allowed to have or not have anyone in the delivery room that you want to, and your stepmom needs to let it go. It does sound like she's been wonderful to you though, and you owe her an apology for that comment. Way harsh. Yeah, it was pretty harsh, and I definitely didn't mean to be because she really is wonderful. My brother asked her to share the mother-son dance with him at his wedding in 2019, and they put a slideshow together that played during the dance that were all the photos we had of my mom and brother together before she died. And when my husband's suit pants ripped 45 minutes before our wedding ceremony, Sophia patched them up so well and quickly that I didn't even know about it until the next day. Sophia is not a bad person at all, and I know she's coming from a good place. I will definitely apologize for what I said and how I said it. Maybe she can tell me why it's so important to her that she's stomping all over my boundaries for the first time in our relationship. Thank you for taking time to respond. I truly appreciate it. I appreciate it, truly. You tried really hard to be considerate of her feelings in this, but she's just making a whole lot of assumptions and you snapped. You tried to explain it, and you assumed that because she respected your mom's place, that she would get how you feel. That kind of makes Sophia an a-hole, but I can see she feels a deep love and desire to support you. But having lost my own mom, I can understand how you feel not having her here when you're about to be a mom yourself. I think since Dad gets it, see if you and he can have a chat and work out the best way to deal with this. You're not the a-hole because she pushed you to snap. Thank you to everyone who commented on my last post. I read through every single one, even if I didn't get to respond. I'm sorry it's taken me this long to come back with an update, but we became a family of 3 a bit earlier than expected. I won't go into boring details, but after rushing to the ER with my husband and my medical team being rock stars doing everything they could, our little girl made her big debut a little over a week ago. She'll have an extended stay in the NICU, but doing as well as anyone can expect for being 12 weeks early. Onto the update I was asked for. I took the advice given and invited Sophia to have lunch with me via a silly card, with a sincerely written note inside that I left for her at their house, which was a throwback to when I was in HS and we'd hide notes for each other. We met at one of our favorite brunch spots so we could work things out. I won't recount it all verbatim, but to all who said that she was obviously going to turn into a boundary-stomping nightmare, thankfully you were wrong. As one Reddit user suggested, I jumped the gun after only getting the gist of the conversation Cousin and Sophia were having, and after having a talk with Cousin as well, I can confidently say Sophia was not attempting to convince her or me of anything. I had interrupted her when she was trying to express to Cousin that she was too scared to ever give birth and couldn't have imagined doing it without her mom. That, in her opinion, a girl needs her mom during her first pregnancy, and she only wanted to make sure I had all the support I needed since my mom wasn't here. That's when I interrupted so rudely. After some more conversation, lots of laughing, and more than a few tears, it was like it never happened at all, and she even got to feel a little bit kick after dessert. I miss those kicks. Regardless, it all ended up being for naught because Sophia did end up being my first call after I was admitted, and Hubs was just as uselessly terrified as I was. She was calm, collected, didn't overstep or hover, and when it was time for her to leave the room, she had very heartfelt words that I'll likely never forget, and which convinced me that at least a tiny bit of my mom's love, soul, spirit, or energy is living inside Sophia. Anyways, that's basically it. Sorry it wasn't more dramatic or juicy, but Sophia is truly a gem of a person, and pregnancy hormones apparently turned me into a raging monster. Our sweet girl was given a beautiful name to honor all 3 of her grandmothers. Middle name is a derivative of my lovely mother-in-law's, and first name is a beautiful mashup of my mom's and Sophia's real names. I'm beyond blessed to have such loving, understanding, and supportive people in my life. Aw, OP, this is a very sweet update. Sophia seems amazing, and I'm glad you guys talked and you have a support system, and your kiddo has an amazing grandma. Congratulations on your baby girl, and I'm so happy it all turned out well for you, and that you mended your relationship with Sophia. She sounds like a great support and a great stepmom. Honestly, my first thought when you said in your last post that you missed your mom and went to visit her, that your mom was trying to reach out to you through Sophia. Spirits will do that to make sure we are taken care of, especially family. I think Sophia's sudden interest might have been prompted by your mom's spirit. I'm so glad that you had comfort in that stressful time. Things will be okay. Also, I'm meaning to offer comfort here, but if I have overstepped, I'm sorry, and please let me know. I'm so sorry for your loss, and I hope moving forward in your life will feel all the comfort and love you need. Story 2. Am I the a-hole for not allowing my cousin to announce her pregnancy at my baby shower for my rainbow baby? This is one thing that you read about on Facebook and think there is no way people actually act like this until it happens to you. My husband and I are finally expecting our rainbow baby after years of infertility and multiple miscarriages. It's safe to say we and our family are very freaking excited. My mother is probably the most excited. She's been planning our baby shower and making decorations for months. She has been the biggest help during this exciting, yet scary pregnancy. A few weeks ago, my aunt told my mother and I that my cousin is pregnant. We're very happy for her. However, my aunt said their plan is to announce her pregnancy at my baby shower, since we are having a big party anyways. She said it's not a big deal, and we both can share the day. I said absolutely not, because we have been waiting for this day forever, and it should be all about me and my rainbow baby. My mother is on my side, and told my aunt that they better not announce anything at the party. My aunt dropped it, and nothing else was ever said. Last Saturday was my baby shower. It was everything I've waited for. Everything is good. No one has announced my cousin's pregnancy. When it was time for us to eat my cake, my aunt said, hold on everyone," and went outside to her car to grab something. That was the moment I knew something was up. My mother and I followed her outside, and my aunt decided to bring a cake announcing my cousin's pregnancy, and some presents for my cousin. My mother immediately told my aunt that she will not be bringing those back into the rec center, and they will not be ruining my day. My aunt started throwing a fit, screaming, "This is a baby shower. It's for babies. Cousin is having a baby too, so this day is about her too." My cousin now joins the screaming and says how pissed off she is that everything is always about me, and why do we always have to be happy for me? They would not stop screaming, so they were kicked out by the rec center security, and half of our family was upset that I wouldn't let her have a moment at my shower, so they left too. Now everyone is bashing my mother, myself, and Rainbow Baby on Facebook, group family texts, anything at all. So Reddit, was I the a-hole for not allowing my cousin to announce her pregnancy at my Rainbow Baby shower? If anyone has any questions or wants to know more, I will gladly go into detail in the comments. Thanks. Edit. I'm trying my hardest to reply to everyone who took the time to comment. Thank you all so much. Not the a-hole. Absolutely not the a-hole. This was your day that you've been trying to make possible for years. If she wanted to steal the spotlight, she should have spent the money, time, and effort on her own shower or announcement party. I would have absolutely lost my shit and told her to get effed. You and your mom are 100% in the right. Reply. Thank you. I just can't believe they thought they could get a free party out of this. Sure, my aunt brought a cake to announce it, but my mother was so excited. She spent so much time and effort on this shower. I just can't believe my aunt would do this to her own sister. In a word, no, not the a-hole. When will people get it through their heads that it is inappropriate to co-opt someone else's celebration to make milestone announcements? To everyone tut-tutting you and your mother, it was not a celebration they planned for their milestone, and if someone did it to them, they would be upset. Not the a-hole. They asked and were told no. Then went and did it anyways. They thought they could railroad and it did not work. So now they've doubled down, as all a-holes do. I say if anyone asks, tell them they had asked and were told no. People, for some twisted reason, tend to support that over the much larger etiquette of never announce anything at someone else's event. ETA, congratulations. Some people have asked for an update, and this is the type of update I never wanted to make. I am truly heartbroken. First off, my beautiful baby girl came into the world 3 weeks early, on June 15th. We have been so excited and enjoying every minute of her. She's doing amazing and has already grown so much. Now, the update on my cousin and aunt. On June 16, the day after my baby girl was born, my cousin texted our family group chat and said that she had a miscarriage. I was so sad for her, and despite still being upset with her, I told her if she needed anything to call me, and I would be there for her. I spent hours crying for her, with her, talking through everything. Her feelings, my feelings, how I was able to cope with my multiple miscarriages. She came over a lot, holding on to my baby, crying. I saw a change in her. She seemed so sincere. My cousin lied. She was never pregnant. Apparently, a few days after her quote-unquote miscarriage, my cousin told her mother, my aunt, that she was loving all the attention she's getting, and that she lied about ever being pregnant. She said she can't wait to magically get pregnant with her quote-unquote rainbow baby soon, and get even more attention. A few days ago, my aunt made a comment about it to my grandma, and my grandma was very upset. My aunt said not to tell anyone, especially me, since I'd be so dramatic about it. She said it wasn't a big deal and everyone needed their time to quote-unquote shine, aka my cousin's future quote-unquote rainbow baby. Of course, my grandma told everyone, and I'm so heartbroken. Now I really don't know if my aunt did or did not know she lied to begin with. My aunt doesn't even care that she lied, and her behavior afterwards was disgusting. So I'm leaning more towards she knew all along and was in on it. However, we have all, not 100% sure about grandma, cut ties with my aunt and cousin. I cannot believe someone would stoop so low as to lie about being pregnant, then miscarrying, then having a rainbow baby, all for attention. I can only write so much in a post, so if anyone has any questions or wants more details, I will try my best in the comments. Thank you all. Congratulations on your daughter. Oh my goodness, there is definitely something wrong with both your cousin and your aunt. And yes, cut them out completely. People willing to do that are potentially dangerous, and you don't want them around you or your daughter. It's just mind-boggling the selfishness and cruelty that your cousin has just to gain attention. And if, and I mean if, she really did become pregnant, I would fear more for that child because the baby will probably be more like a living doll for her and have everyone else take care of the baby, or much like one Reddit post where one sister-in-law got pregnant just to compete with the OP, found out that the child had some health problems and literally took off and ghosted the family. It wouldn't surprise me if she'd do that as well. I hope you and the little one will be okay, and I would say keep your aunt and cousin away from your family, because she sounds like she's going to do something or even use your daughter as a prop to make herself look better. I will never understand people like this. When I was pregnant, I told very few people, but my friend's cousin found out right as I was close to 7 months, and she became obsessed with being pregnant and was telling everyone she was pregnant, and then would lie, saying she didn't get her period till someone called her out about the pad she left in the bathroom, that she tried to say she had a miscarriage. Then, when her cheating boyfriend and her got into a fight, she admitted she made the whole thing up. Guys, I want to quickly interrupt this video by reminding you all to be an a-hole to the like button. When they ask you to get them tickets to the game, get them a one-way ticket to the Hunger Games. Story 3. Am I the a-hole for calling out my mother-in-law at her daughter's memorial service for implying her daughter's death was sadder because she wanted children? I'm a 26 male. Wife's 26 female, younger sister, 23 female, passed away unexpectedly. It was shocking for all of us, and I've just been trying to be supportive while processing my own grief. At her memorial service, I overheard a relative, who had lost her only child, tell my mother-in-law that while my sister-in-law's death was tragic, at least she had another child. My mother-in-law tried to explain that wasn't any consolation, since her daughters were both unique individuals, but then they got into a borderline argument about it. My mother-in-law then tried to put it to rest by saying, in any case, even if I still have, my wife, sister-in-law was my only hope for having grandchildren, since my wife doesn't want any, so I'll always be mourning that missed possibility. For context, my wife and I aren't even child-free. We just don't want to have children until at least our late 30s. It has been a very sore point for her mother, who has made it clear to everyone that she believes that we're lying about delaying it just to avoid discussing it with her. At that point I interrupted and said it was a very insensitive thing to say about both her daughters, to reduce one's entire value to her openness towards having children and dismiss another's value for not having children in the near future. My mother-in-law seemed to not even consider my point and was mostly just incensed about how I could even confront her at a time like this. She finally told me that she was not in any state to deal with this and left. I later told my wife about it, and she said that even if I was right, then wasn't the time to bring it up, and that she doesn't have any emotional capacity to even care about it at the moment. I feel really guilty about being responsible for creating some new drama right now, but I also think that what my mother-in-law said was highly dismissive and that I had to defend my wife right there. You're the a-hole, and the relative who started the conversation is a massive a-hole. Who the hell says, "Well, you lost one, but hey, at least you've got another one"? What? That's so insane. And then for you to be rude to her about your opinions on having children while she's mourning the death of her child. She's absolutely allowed to mourn the fact that she will never get grandchildren from her younger daughter. Who cares if she made some passing comment about not having grandkids? She's allowed to mourn not getting grandkids just as much as you're allowed to not have children. You should have bit your tongue. You were way out of line, and so was the relative. You're the a-hole. Your wife is right that it wasn't an appropriate time. Your mother-in-law didn't tell you or your wife that. You overheard it after she was, it seems, somewhat baited into an argument at her daughter's memorial service. First, the person who acted like your mother-in-law's grief should be less because she had another child, who is an entirely different person than the daughter she lost, is an a-hole. That person probably meant well, but seems to have doubled down, probably in defensiveness when mother-in-law pointed out their insensitivity. So, that created more tension at an already emotional rot event. You could have said, "Hello, mother-in-law. So-and-so wanted to offer their condolences," and steered away from the tense conversation with the other relative. But at the daughter's memorial service, you chose to pile on by pointing out the comment a grieving mother made. You didn't need to quote-unquote defend your wife because your mother-in-law wasn't trying to attack your wife. She was just trying to explain her grief to an insensitive relative. Sure, your mother-in-law's attitude is not great, but she was under pressure and grieving, and it wasn't the time to address the issue. You're the a-hole. The woman had just lost a daughter, and some dumbass was arguing with her about how it shouldn't hurt. In the context of that argument, your mother-in-law was put into a position to say something at the moment she didn't mean. Then you decided to butt in, gang up on her, and call her out at her daughter's funeral? A-hole move. Incidentally, since you were eavesdropping long enough to relay the rest of the conversation, you could have intervened earlier, like when some a-hole was telling your mother-in-law she shouldn't be sad about her daughter's death. It seems pretty callous towards your mother-in-law to only get worked up when you did. I should probably explain why I didn't respond to any of the comments. It dawned on me immediately just how awful I was to say what I did, and that I continued thinking I could be right in some twisted way till I saw the answers here. I told my wife straight away how sorry I was for adding to her grief when it should be my duty to be by her side through it. I waited till now to apologize to my mother-in-law. I told her I failed her in every way, by not standing up for her when she was told a massively insensitive thing, by misunderstanding what she actually meant, and by causing her that kind of hurt when she hadn't even begun to process her mourning and affirmed that she's the best mother both her daughters could have asked for. We cried together for some time. We talked a lot about my sister-in-law, her life, how difficult and different it's going to be. We had a frank conversation about the future. She said she was sorry about how her comment might have come off, but she really felt upset deep down because she might not get to experience being a grandmother. I didn't really know if it was the right thing to say at the time, but I told her that we both really do want kids, but we want to be richer and in better places in our careers, so we don't have to struggle with balancing parenthood with work and can spend time with them. I even told her we just started saving up for freezing embryos, and we were hoping to get it done next year. She seemed to be genuinely convinced and comforted, and said she's happy we had that talk. I'm really grateful for this sub. Without it, I would have probably just sat on my shitty opinions indefinitely until people forgot about it. I wish I didn't need to be told what an a-hole I was. So happy you recognize and apologize for your poor behavior. Fingers crossed that all goes well for you and your wife on your future fertility journey. Also, very sorry for the loss of your sister-in-law. but thankful that your family is coming together to support one another. Thank you for this update. You're doing good work to make amends for your hurtful words and actions. I am proud of you for realizing how to correct your mistake, and it's good to hear that your mother-in-law is not holding a grudge. Guys, that's it for today's stories. Thank you very much for listening. Please remember to smash that like button for me, and subscribe to our channel to keep listening to these stories. Thank you for all of your support, guys. We will be seeing you in the next one.